Good morning, my students. We are going to study measurements. Measurements. This is a very important lesson in physics. Physics is the study of nature. The basic physical quantities can be classified into three main parts. Number one, length. Number two, mass. Number three, time. The basic physical quantity are mass, length, time. The standard unit for mass is called kilogram, for length is called meter, for time is called second. This is the international unit. There is another unit for length, example, centimeter, millimeter, but the international unit is called meter. There is a unit for measuring for mass is called kilogram, or gram, or milligram, or microgram, or megagram. But the international unit is called kilogram. The unit for measuring time, standard unit is called second. There is another unit, minute, hour, but the standard unit is called second, maybe millisecond. When we observe that the time is 2 milliseconds, we must be obtain the unit is second by multiplying it times 10 power negative 3 to convert it from millisecond to second. If any unit with megasecond, mega kilogram, time is 10 power 6 to convert it from mega kilogram to kilogram. At first, we study the length. What is the device or an instrument used to measuring length? Number one, the ruler. Number two, the measuring tape. There are two instruments used to measure the length. There are two instruments used to measure the length. In case of large distances is measured by kilometer. The distance between Cairo and Alexandria is 200, example, 200 kilometer. We cannot use meter or centimeter, not suitable to it. For large distances, we use kilometer. For small distances, measured in meter, not kilometer, or decimeter, or millimeter. In case of a smaller distance, we can convert it from kilometer to meter, yes, by multiplying it times 1000. Millimeter contains 10 decimeter times 10. Decimeter contains 10 centimeter. Centimeter contains 10 millimeter. So we can convert any unit to another unit. Our reading of ruler must be replaced near the object, and the eye must be perpendicular. This is a precaution to measure the length by using ruler to avoid parallax error, or error. Very small distance can be measured by an instrument is called micrometer. is called micrometer. This is an instrument which can be used to measure the small distances. More than reading can be used, taken, and calculate their average, to calculate the average. If you have different spheres, by using ruler, this number of spheres, we need to determine the average value of it. The average equal sum of readings divided their numbers. Sum of readings divided of numbers. From this reading, we observe that the distance from this point to this point is 8. The number of spheres 1, 2, 3, 4 divided 4. This means that the average value equal to centimeter. More than one reading should be taken and then calculate their average to obtain the accurate reading. To measure the diameter of a sphere, find the difference between two readings on the ruler, then dividing the result by the number of spheres. To measure the thickness of very thin object, find the thickness of 10 or 20 pieces, then divide this reading by their number. Why? To obtain the average value. This is the first. In the first, we study length. Why we study length? Because any physical quantity can be classified into basic or fundamental physical quantity and derivable physical quantity. Derivable physical quantity derived from basic physical quantity. Physical quantity is called basic when it cannot be changed into simpler form, like length, time, and mass. What? The meaning of time? It is a part of interval of time. Can be measured it by using watch or stopwatch to measure long time. Short time, yes, by using stopwatch. Long time by using watch. Rests to 0. This is a symbol is called pendulum. Move in vibratory motion. It is not rests to 0. Find the difference between the starting and ending times. Very short time are measured by using an electronic timer to obtain accurate reading, which starts and stops automatically. To measure the time in one complete oscillation or complete vibration. What is the meaning of complete oscillation? Complete oscillation, it is a wave motion in which the body passing through the fixed point in its path two successive times at equal intervals of time. This time needed to make one complete cycle is called periodic time. Find the number of 20 complete oscillation. Dividing the number 10 or 20 according to the number of complete vibrations to be accurate. One complete oscillation from A to B and back to A. This is called periodic time. If the time is measured by hour, we convert it into minute by timing 8 by times 60 times 60. When the time by minutes, time is 60 to convert it from minute to second. From hour to second, time is 60 or 3600. This is the second point for the basic quantity. The third basic quantity is called mass. And there is a difference between mass and weight. What is a mass? Mass, it is the amount of the body which it contains, or inertial mass. It is the property of the object that resists the change in motion, which is called inertia. Or the amount of matter in any object is called mass. Another define for the mass. The mass is always constant, does not depend on the temperature. The mass does not depend on the temperature, does not depend on the height, does not depend on the place, does not depend on the pressure. The mass of the body is constant in anywhere. The mass of an object increases at much more difficult to move it when it is at rest or stops. If it is moving due to inertia, when the mass increases, inertia increases. The mass is measured by ton or kilogram or gram using top pan balance or beam balance. Top pan balance, which used to measure sensitive mass or very small mass. Now, we know the difference between mass and weight. To differentiate between them, weight is measured by spring balance, not sensitive balance. Weight, it is the attractive force by which the earth pulls any object towards the center. The weight depends on the acceleration of free fall acceleration, which is called the gravitational field strength, which equals 9.8 or 10 approximately meter per second. The weight does not constant, but it changes from one place to another place due to the change in the gravity or free fall acceleration, which is constant near the earth and decreases gradually at high altitude. Weight depends on the planet. The greater mass of the planet, the earth, greater is the value of gravity. The weight is measured by Newton using spring balance. Weight equal mass times acceleration due to gravity. An experiment to know that the effect of air resistance on the two bodies respect to their masses. If you have a tube, this is a tube of length 1.5 meter, has two rubber stopper. Bring tube of length 1.5 meter. Attach a vacuum pump connected with the vacuum pump to remove air resistance to the tube to move air to obtain vacuum, and drop in the same time from the same place coin and piece of paper inside the tube at the same time in the same height. What do you observe? We observe that the object will reach to the base of the tube at the same time. At the same time. From it we observe that the effect of resistance. The two objects are moving with the same acceleration regardless their masses. Goodbye and good luck, my students.